Hello! Once more, welcome. Can you hear me speak okay? I hope so. It's a fake Tony? Who's Tony? What's a fake Tony? Everybody can hear me. Hey, that's what I like to hear. Hey, welcome back to Weekends Celebration of Vulnerability. For those of you that missed the stream yesterday, this is a new thing we're going to be doing on Saturdays and Sundays in the afternoon. Basically, here on weekends, we celebrate doing the things that we are afraid that we suck at. I am going to follow my dream of successfully creating a comic book, which I will then sell on some sort of pay-what-you-can website. You can follow me across the entire process and see all of the times that I stumble and all of the vulnerability that I display. All the while, I encourage you to share your vulnerable victories in chat as we all learn to overcome the enforced perfectionism that has so paralyzed us. And that is weekends. That is what we're doing. If you have any vulnerable victories you would like to share, it can be anything small or large. Go ahead and drop it in chat. It would probably be best if you tag me so that I can see it. I'll probably see it a bit easier if you do that. So that's what we're doing. Yesterday, we worked on a bit more of the character designs. You can see I've got one of the main characters of the comic, Deirdre, drawn out here. I'll just zoom in so you can see her face. And today, I think we're actually going to make a comic strip page. Probably not the whole thing, but we're going to get started. Here's the plan for it. I'll actually file new now. I don't know if you can't see this window, but there's a preset. I want a comic book preset. Yeah, that'll do me. A4 color. That sounds about right. This is a comic book page. Now, I don't know anything about these lines. These are tools that are all new to me. You're going to watch me learn about them as I go. There is in the studio that I'm using, in case you're curious, it is, of course, Manga Studio Pro. There is a comic panel making tool that I don't 100% know how to use. What does this do? Right? I don't understand really how to use it, but I'm going to learn as we go. So this is the tool. Create frame, rectangle frame, polyline frame, frame border pen. Hello, Slime Thoughts. May your weekend be ever viscous. Thank you. I will try to make it as viscous as possible. Have I seen the new pocket monsters that turn into motorcycles? I unfortunately fell off Pokemon shortly after the first generation of Mons. Now, hold on. So this adds a bunch of layers, as I can see. I want to learn to use this tool because I think it will eventually save me time. So if I turn this off, let's just. Can I draw some shit in here? Okay, interesting. That gets rid of all of it. All right. And if I go down to this layer. All right. Now, if I were to cut frame border like this. Okay. I'm learning something. divide frame border. What's the difference? Okay. So that doesn't actually make a new panel or new layer. It just kind of bisects the existing artwork. I'm learning. I'm learning much. So we want to go with cut rather than divide, I think. No, cut. I'm confused. I'm confused. I'm so lost in the sauce. Your cat just threw up on your shoes? That mad sucks. Okay. I just want to get lots of gunk up in here so that we can see what we're doing with the frame. Figuring it out as we go. This is art, baby. This is art. And if I don't understand. I don't understand. Am I going to have to watch a tutorial on this? Perhaps. Does the program have a perspective tool? I won't make much use of it. As someone who doesn't quite understand perspective as it is, don't expect a lot of drawings that will require that. You're going to see a lot of, if there is a building, it's going to be head on. Okay. Dividing method. Divide frame folder and duplicate inside layer. Create empty folder. What about if I, like that? Okay. Okay, I think this is what I was looking for. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking, layout-wise. Let's just. First of all, I want that gutter bigger. I want up here. We're going to have an establishing shot of the setting. So it's going to be the store that Ollie is working at. And then for the rest, it's going to be a 4-panel comic showing him going about his daily routine. Is it possible to move this? No. Once it's placed. So I would really like to get this like equal is the thing. Shape division, polyline, spline. Blood in the gutters, baby. I don't think it needs to be exactly equal, I guess, but you know what? Let's also make the horizontal and vertical gutters the same size, because that's going to bug me. And also, we did the whole thing wrong, so let's... Hello. Hello. Control button. You let me fix where I put my things. How amazing of you. Thank you kindly. I would like you to go, no. Right here, baby, baby. Well, now it's art. Now we're making art, baby. No. We want it to be the whole goddamn good usable space. Yeah. And finally, one more corner to go. Oh, baby. I like it. I love it. I want to get some more of it. Now, we're going to make these both 20. So, we're not making a loss, everyone. We're making a beautiful work of art. Or fart, if you will. Nope. We want it straight. Is there maybe like a straight... shift will make it straight. And then want it... No. Yep. Now it's doing something weird. This tool is real confusing. I'm going to have to watch a tutorial for this off stream. And maybe fix up what we do on stream. That's okay. We're learning. Okay. This is the basic layout that we're working with. Now, how do we draw into each one is the question. There's a lot of folders it created, it seems. So if I go boop. Okay. Let's start renaming this shit right now. Seems it named them in the exact reverse order that I would like. Shift will make it straight. Please keep me away from the shift key. The shift key has no power over you. It only has the power over you that you let it have. Okay. So let's, first of all, let's get rid of everything that's confusing us. We're going to rename this frame A1. Let's get these in order too, the order that I would like. What have I done? I don't want them to go into, yeah. It appears I've combined them rather than moved them. Is there an up and down arrow? Caps lock makes it super straight. Can we see? It should be between, not over. I don't understand. I want you to go here. This creates but folders. Tisk tisk. Okay. Frame B1. Frame B2. And let's just do it this way. Frame C1. Frame C2. Okay. So let's just get rid of everything. Get rid of all this shit. And you know what? I don't want that there while we're working. Is there anywhere to watch a VOD of the old webcomic? I was about a third of the way through and I didn't realize it wouldn't be there for me to return to, but I'm fascinated to see the rest. I think if you follow the link to it on Twitter, it should still give you the link to the VOD. Sorry, I'm just... If I drag this in here... Yes. Now, pardon me while I get my shit set up. Oh no! That's okay. Okay, now here's the question. Having set this up this way, just make the whole website a table with empty spaces so you can format it. This is not website. This is comic book. Do I know how to work with vectors? I do-ish. I know how to work with a vector layer for illustration. Okay, so the question remains, if I draw in here, what will happen? Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. That's exactly right. So basically, we're thumbing this out right now. We're going to start by just like sketching out what we want to be in the comic. So basically, is this Among Us? Why would I tell you if it were? There's going to be a balloon here that says Monday. I'll just write it out, but we won't go with my ridiculous handwriting in the final version. ASMR throat noises. Oh, sorry about that. It's going to take place in a strip mall. So as I said, every building will be front on so that I don't have to learn perspective. I'm half joking. And there will be one of those signs where they change the letters. You know, the ones I'm talking about? Where like they have someone come out and change the letters. And it's going to say Brandsplosion. That's our ticking clock. Blah, 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 blah. 14 days. Actually, no. So it's a big corporate event, it should happen on a Friday, probably. Do seem to be having issues erasing. What's that about? I'm working at a different resolution than is typical for me. Okay, that makes sense. So like 10? I'll work it out so that it would be on a Friday, because shit like that is always on Fridays. Like a church sign? Kinda, yeah. You know, like the ones like retail stores have them sometimes. It's less of a thing now, I think, but it's like it's like a grid, and they come out with like little plastic letters, and they put them on and have like they advertise sales and shit. So the store is called Queen XL, and there's going to be like a neon sign up top that advertises this, or not a neon sign, but like a light sign. And of course, they would have big windows in the front with like, you know, mannequins and shit. This is just a light thumbnail. When I actually go to draw this, it's going to be a lot of like using the line tool and like working with fonts and shit. There's going to be less drawing involved, so that's why I'm kind of being very. I'm just working out where I want everything to be, you know. And then they would have like a loading dock in the back, kind of deal. One of those air conditioning thingies on the top there. Just trying to visually keep it interesting. So this is in like a strip mall area. Y'all calling me Mildred? Why would I be calling you? I ain't calling shit. There'd be like cars in the foreground. Not looking forward to drawing that. Do not like drawing cars. You either like drawing cars or you don't. There are two kinds of people in this world. The two genders. People that like and know how to draw cars. And whatever I am. Let's just forget about it. It's just there. You know? I started my sucking at video games today. I started my sucking at video editing today. Thank you for the motivation. That right there is what I like to call a vulnerable victory. And to you, I say...
flawless victory.
Well done. Well done. This is what we celebrate around here. This is what I like to see. I hope that in time, as we continue this project, I'm going to see a goddamn link to this video in chat. That is my challenge to you. I want to see your video done before I am done this fucking comic book. You hear me? Will do. All right. I was watching Drawfee the other day, and Karina said she just traced a model of a 3D car to avoid the headache of freehanding. Yeah. Yeah. It's not aggressive. It's supportive. It's a challenge. It's a challenge. Stretch yourself. What kind of stuff would be in the background that is simple for me to visually convey? Because like I'll tell you, my safe option is always to just draw like shapes representing a city. If I want to draw a background, that's always just what I do. But I think like a strip mall area should kind of be away from that. Strip mall areas should kind of, you know, be in a boring place out in the suburbs. Typically, is how I think of them anyway. I will draw like a little cloud. You know, it's night. If that helps. I would imagine there's like it's a parking lot. This would probably, as much as I don't want to learn perspective, this should probably be like angled, right? That's a bit more visually interesting. Trees are a really simple skyline. My go-to is always mountains. This isn't a mountainous area. That book comes with a lot of pseudoscientific nonsense talk. Yeah, the book Drawing from the Right Side of the Brain. Yes, it does. None of that is relevant to what makes it a good drawing book, though. And also, it's not like, you know, shit like IQ or something. It's just like, you've got your right brain and your left brain, which is not true. That's really old pseudoscientific thinking. But also, like, later editions of the book fully acknowledge that, and they're like, this is more so like just a way to conceptualize it rather than like it matters of it being literally true, which it's not. It's, you think about it as like drawing as a hard mathematical skill rather than a creative skill, which is what the book is trying to get across. And I think that's a good way to conceptualize it. Not necessarily the only way, but it helps people learn. Big sign that has the name of all the stores. Yeah, I'm just thinking where I would put that. I did have that thought, and that would be fun because I could have like funny names for the stores. Like maybe if we move the sign to the other side. Oop, wrong tool. Art, I didn't know you did art. I do art. Jesse the artist. I assume you do as well. Today I'm trying not to suck at making doll clothes. That sounds incredibly cool. What kind of clothes are we talking here? That is a very specific hobby, which is my absolute favorite kind. Haha, yes, horror art and a mermaid graphic novel. Wow. But towards the doll clothes, and I suppose now also this mermaid graphic novel, I say.
Flawless victory.
A public service sign that reminds people to wear underpants. City Council took care of that years ago. Yeah, so we'll have one of those. List of signs. And it'll just have like a bunch of silly store names. And over on this side, we'll have the ticking clock. Woo, I make doll clothes. Which dolls? What? No, that's not how those signs have little feet. What did my computer just do? Ah! I see. Windows wants to update. Never. I'm new. What's going on with the stream? The stream is a celebration of vulnerability. We're encouraging people to do things that they are afraid that they suck at. I am following my dream of making a comic even though I feel inadequate doing it, and I encourage everyone in chat to do something that they are afraid to suck at as well and share it as their vulnerable victory. I'm starting to learn 3D art and I'm writing prose for the first time. Let's do it. Hell yeah.
Flawless victory.
I tried to learn 3D art a couple of months ago. I did the whole donut tutorial business, and I dropped it, but I keep intending to get back to it. They're Orville uniforms. Usually I make full-sized costumes, so this is new territory. That is so cool. That is really cool. So you're dressing up dolls like in cosplay. I've been wanting to draw on Twitch, but my computer chair is really squeaky and would annoy everybody. Hey, guess what? Hear that? My chair's squeaky too. I just took away all your excuses. Get a can of WD-40. If you can't afford a can of WD-40, send me a DM. I will send you $5. You get yourself a can of WD-40. Get the squeaks out of your chair. No more excuses. All right? Do it scared. I try to make electronic music, but I'm not particularly good at it since I have no studies, but I am pulling off some nice earnest drone. Guess what? That means if you are right now not very good at it, that means every day you're going to get a little bit better. Every day you're going to be better than the day you were before. So that, to me, sounds like...
Flawless victory.
Okay, I think we've thumbed out...
Flawless victory.
Didn't mean to hit that again. How ironic. I think we've thumbed out this one well enough. So let's get to the next panel. It's just that victorious. Exactly. Layer. New raster layer. Hell yeah. Oh, I can already tell this. I'm glad we took the time to learn these frames because this is going to make it so much easier. Okay, so in here, we're going to have Ollie. And he's going to be mopping up. I think that looks too confident. And I want him kind of hunched over as he's doing it. There we go. This I'm already happier with. So this is the advantage to thumbing it out, right? Is because if I had just started drawing, as is my ADHD desire, this will probably be thinner in the render because I will use the actual line tool when I'm doing it, by the way. My ADHD desire to not ever thumbnail, to just start drawing, I would be stuck with a pose that I wasn't happy with, as always happens to me. So you start by thumbing it out. You just take the time, and it makes the product better in the long run. So his shoulder would be about here. Let's get the hands on the mop first. So his hands would be about here. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Look at that. You can tell so much more about like how he's feeling with him like hunched over like this. You know what I mean? And like he'll be looking kind of down. We're not gonna like do a sketch here. I'm just kind of, you know, making sure that I've got the space for everything I want. There'll be like little wiggle lines to convey that he's moving that around. Yeah, and then I think, oops. In this one, we'll kind of have him I've been putting off doing digital art under the guise of organizing my brushes, but I really just feel like I suck at it. The stream is helping to push me to actually draw. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Listen, though, the digital brushes, you're never going to have enough. It's just draw. You can draw with any dang brush, all right? You don't need the fancy brushes. I understand the temptation. There's going to be Ollie with like a shopping cart, and he's taking like the returns, or the, you know, like the I don't know what you call it, but like, because every retail store calls it something different, but like he's gonna have the when customers bring things to the cash and then leave them there, and then you've got to like bring it back and restock it. So like, you know, gotta remember it's women's clothes. And this, you know, and this will be interesting because it looks like I'm gonna have to draw him a profile, which is not my favorite. But again, this is the point, right? The point is to kind of, I think it's too fat for the character, not for a human body. You can be that fat if you like. Hands would be here. Lacks the physicality but empowers imagination. As Eddie once said, they're not women's clothes, they're my clothes. I think until they're born, if you have to, I think it's helpful to categorize them in terms of where you're going to put them on a shelf. Is the only reason I refer to them as women's clothes. Obviously, anyone can wear any clothes. I will figure this pose out. I'm just kind of as we go. And then it's going to be like racks behind him. None of that got drawn on, huh? Hey, what's going on, bud? Okay, there you go. I think if you start the fuck? Why? Why not draw? What the fuck is going on? I'll just start in the middle and hope it'll be like racks behind him and aisles and shit. There should be like a sign like for a sale or some shit. Isn't this an exciting comic? Just watching a guy go about his daily routine at a job he doesn't like. Okay. And then in the final two panels, the joke I want to tell, I'm just thinking through how I want to tell it, is there's going to be like a TikTok star in the front, and he's like, "Hey, today I'm doing the bucket of mud challenge," and then he dumps a bucket of mud on himself, and the final panel is Ollie mopping again. You know what I mean? But like looking angrier. I think that's the way to do it. To just convey that like his job is, there's no respect. Why is this panel perpy? What did I do to it? Is it funnier that he's angry or sad? I think naturally, well, I don't know. I think it's funnier if he's angry, but I think it suits the story better maybe if he's sad. So there's going to be this guy up front. He's going to be holding his phone. Actually, there's going to be, he'll hold a little bucket. It's going to have like slop coming out of it. And this hand will have his phone. So the phone shouldn't be the focus. The mud should be the. It's a panel ruler. I click on those all the time. How do I get rid of it? Do you know? Ruler. If I. Does anyone know how we get rid of that? Ruler frame. Ah. Later. Gator. Okay. Yeah, so he'll have his... No, I didn't want a new ruler. I wanted a drawing. It's time to make a drawing. Am I in the wrong? No, I'm in the right thing. Why won't you let me draw? Why is it not letting me draw sometimes? What is going on with that? What is this? What are you? Are you a ruler? Have I drawn a ruler? Get out of here. Should I actually just get rid of that ruler is the question, probably, rather than simply hiding it. Yes. Be gone. From whence ye came. Your latest video is really good. Hashtag girl. Girl. Your latest video is so good. Girl. I assume that's how that's meant to be read. Thank you. Of course, Okay. Yeah, there we go. Now we can just draw in comic. There we go. Can everyone else hear him when he appears to be talking? It does appear that my audio is not... Oh, no, there's just many. I assume everyone else can hear me. Otherwise, how are you answering all of the questions I'm asking? That's very weird. Sounds fine on Twitch? Very well. Good enough for me. And they're going to be just like shit-eating grin, you know? I assume the question was about the character in the comic. None of them are talking. Hi, massive thanks for all your content. It's scary how right-wing the UK is heading, but thanks for all the laughs and knowing that I'm not alone. Well, the UK is not the only place, unfortunately, but I'm glad that the videos helped. And there's going to be like a speech balloon up here. And it's important to always block out the speech balloons as well. People forget to do that, and then the composition of their panels gets real fucked up because of it, because you're just trying to fit the speech balloons in places where you wouldn't. And Ollie's going to kind of be like leaning back because he just... You know, he's in the background, kind of like, huh? I'm trans in the UK and I'm already planning for having to flee the country. Yeah, I'm hearing that more and more, which is kind of a bummer, but you know, it's good that people are preparing for disaster at least. Okay, and then in the final panel, why did I turn the border off? It's going to be Ollie in the opposite direction. So you know what I'm gonna do just to make sure that the frame is... I will redraw it when I actually do the drawing, but just to make sure that I'm getting the composition as I like it, I'm going to take this and we're going to move this down to the final layer down here. Hey now, hey, hey. Why did it not go? Where did that happen? Where did layer go? Layer 4 copy. Move down, please, please. Layer C2. And we're gonna move ya. There you go. And we're gonna flip ya. Transform, flip horizontal. And you know what? I'll give him a little tilt too, just to convey that he's working a little harder. And I'll put him lower in the frame so that he, it just makes him look a little more pathetic, you know? I think Canada should accept trans people from the US and UK as refugees. I tend to agree, but Canada's refugee policy has never been ideal. I mean, what countries is, but during the Syrian refugee crisis, there was, I forget the name of the legislation, but we could only take a hard cap of 10,000 people, which was utterly fucking ridiculous. And they also couldn't have, like, when they left their country, whatever country that be, and at the time it was mostly Syria, if they went to a country that was like not where they wouldn't be in danger, they weren't allowed to seek refugee status in Canada. They had to seek refugee status in that country. It was called the safe third country or safe third party agreement or something like that. But it essentially just like was a way for countries to like absolve themselves of any responsibility and trap refugees in this bureaucracy that kept them from ever getting asylum anywhere. Safe third country agreement. Thank you. So let's get to work on this first panel. We'll make that a bit lighter. New roster layer. For some reason, I letter my comic before I compose the rest. That's probably the smartest way to do it, because then you know exactly like how much text you can fit in. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be that careful. Okay, so this is still a sketch, but it's going to be a bit more of a sketch where you can see a bit more of the action, as it were. And by now, you know how I construct faces. This is kind of my... I do remember Canada accepted a bunch of LGBTQIA plus refugees from Chechnya. So maybe there's hope. Put a little blood on him? No. He's cleaning up mud. Or in the first panel, he's just mopping the floors like you would, you know, at a retail place. Like it's not... It's nothing unusual, you know? So he's just kind of bored in the first panel. He's not upset, or he's no more upset than he normally is. He should probably be looking at what he's doing. And yeah, I'm drawing him half-lidded, so get your fucking Tim Buckley Family Guy jokes out of the way. Sometimes characters look disinterested, okay? I've seen your winners video. That ain't mud. There was a lot of pooping on the floor in that store, let me tell you. By a lot, I mean very little, but still more than you'd expect. Which is none. So you start with really light lines, and then you kind of, as you get more confident where you want to place stuff, you make them a bit stronger. Lower those eyebrows if you're going half-lidded? Yeah, probably. You're right, actually. When you're right, you're right. One of the advantages of digital art is that erasing is so good. If you are used to working in traditional art, I should kind of be cut off by the glasses, maybe even. Erasing just is kind of a waste of time. It just makes your art look worse, usually, especially in the sketching stage. So I follow a method of drawing hands that I don't know if I should probably just study hands a bit more, but I tend to draw them like little houses. is the only way I can put it. The trick to traditional art and erasing is to draw lightly. Yeah. I mean, that you should draw lightly anyway most of the time, especially as you're working out where the lines should be. I'm just saying, like, it's sometimes what you're meant to do and what you end up doing aren't always aligned. Which is, what this stream is all about, baby. Fucking it up. And then, obviously we'll actually use like a straight line in the render. I call it the render now because I watch so much Drawfee. And there will be like wood texture on this so that it's made of wood. Wood texture is one of my favorite things to color in. So you'll see a lot of wood in this comic. Don't take that out of context. Yeah. Yeah. Too late, I already did. Damn it. That's a pretty good. That's good for the sketch, I think. We got that figured out. That'll be easy to work with when we get to the business. Okay, I'm not looking forward to working on this next one. This is gonna be a nightmare for me. This is a lot of stuff that I'm not used to dealing with. Okay. For anyone who wonders what I'm doing when I do this, I like to take sketches that I'm drawing over. There's a function in Clip Studio that lets you turn those lines blue or turn whatever, just tint it blue, so that you can see the black lines over them. And then I lower the opacity a little just so that it's a little lighter, so I can see where my new lines are. Is why I'm doing that. In case you were curious. Okay, so I got to get used to drawing in profile, I suppose, but it's not my favorite. I think technically, with the way I've drawn him here, he should kind of be like more of a, not 3/4, but between profile and 3/4. But I mean, let's just call it, let's not try and reinvent the wheel here. I feel like I've made his head a bit too big. Let's go ahead and shrink that up. Move it down a little. There we go. Wait, there's a function to turn the lines blue? I've been using this program for over a year and I didn't know that. Yeah, I don't know if you can see my mouse cursor, but like right here is the button that does it. It's called Change Layer Color. It's very useful for, oh no, I'm still on the selection tool. Very useful for when you're moving from the sketch layer to the, or from a sketch layer to another layer. Just in the final panel, put a little blood on him. Doesn't count as a murder if it's a TikToker. I'm not going to do that, but I appreciate the suggestion nonetheless. I do realize I've given him kind of a kissy face, the way that I've drawn him. But that's okay. That is something that can be worked out in the render. How the hell is his hair going to look from the side? This is something I should have thought about, but I consciously didn't. I think there should be like a little stick-uppy bit on the back here. And he's doing a smooch. Yeah, he's doing a little smooch. There's a TikTok personality that looks shocking like Mildred to the point that I thought they had a TikTok account. Is it Vadim Newquest? Lucky that person, though, getting to look like me. Wish I looked like me. Granted, I fulfilled the prophecy. Okay. Is this a weekly feature now? Because I like it. Indeed it is. Get used to it. Hold me to it also. He doesn't need a belt buckle like that. That's way too big. He's not in Texas. Even if he were, he wouldn't dress that ostentatiously. Should probably give him a bit more of a dump truck. You know, for the fans. If you want people to like your character, you should always try and give them a dump truck ass. That's my art tip for you. It's a likable character feature. It's also just like, if I'm gonna draw someone chubby, I want a lot of round. I like round in a chubby character. I like playing with sharp line, round line. You know what I mean? How do feet work? What does a foot do? Close enough for now. I think the shoulder should be a bit more hunched, you know? Also, I like the idea of his uniform not quite fitting him because they don't have uniforms for overweight people at this plus size clothing store. I think would be a fun bit. Sorry, not overweight. That's kind of fat phobic language. I mean to say fat. When I do the render, I'm going to have to do the impossible task of looking up what a shopping cart actually looks like in real life, instead of just doing it from memory. So, again, I will not learn perspective. It simply will not happen. Stop asking. Real Rob Liefeld hours. I'm drawing the feet. I'm not cheating. Unlike Rob Liefeld, who is the exact opposite of what we do here. I'm showing you that I have difficulty drawing feet instead of trying to hide it. It's okay to not know how to draw feet. That's life. Rob Liefeld, if you're watching, embrace it. Embrace your vulnerability and just learn to draw feet, baby. It's okay. It's okay that you don't know how. You're a talented artist despite what a lot of people have to say about you. Sure, your anatomy is not always realistic, but you've got a style that is popular for a reason. I watched a convincing Panels to Pixels video, convincing me to appreciate Rob Liefeld, even if I don't necessarily enjoy his particular style. Okay, so I think this TikTok guy, he should kind of like, first of all, he's got to be good looking. Annoyingly good looking. You know, I don't know if, like, this isn't really a thing I feel like for women characters, but like, there's a way that a man can be handsome where you don't like him. And it like, you'll notice that like, when women find a man to be sexy, generally, it is something to do with like the way they hold themselves and present themselves. It usually has very little to do with whether they are conventionally attractive. So like a good example is Alan Rickman. Not conventionally attractive, but like every woman I've ever met has been like, Rob, he can, not, I almost said Rob Liefeld. Alan Rickman can get it. Like Alan Rickman can absolutely get it. But like if you were to like picture a handsome guy, you're not picturing someone who looks like Alan Rickman. You're, you know, like in Die Hard, you would think Bruce Willis is the handsomer guy, but like most women that I know who would watch that movie would be like, damn, Alan Rickman. Part of that is going to be his voice. Part of that is going to be the way that he just carries himself, right? So there's a way that a guy can be handsome in a way that you just, you look at him and you go, oh, fuck this guy. You know who's a great example? If you watch Better Call Saul, there's a character named Howard on that show, ridiculously handsome, positive, really tries to like be a good person and like help people in the show, and you just hate his guts. You just hate his guts because he's too perfect. Have I seen any CJ the X videos about art and subjectivity? I don't think so. I don't think I have. I know I'm subscribed to CJ the X. They come up in my, sorry, I don't know. I'm saying they because I don't know CJ the X's pronouns. They come up in my feed a lot. I don't think I've seen that video in particular. Alan Rickman and Dogma is so hot. This is the thing. Alan Rickman is like, you know, it's just like, it's not about how you look in a lot of senses, I think. I don't know if I like that. He's kind of just, okay, he should be looking into the phone, but I kind of like him just vacantly staring off. They is the correct pronoun. Nailed it. Honestly, Lalo is the Zaddy of the show. Lalo is charisma personified. Been watching that Sandman. The guy who plays the Corinthian is also, he's just genuinely quite handsome, but he's very charismatic in a way that is like you just tell right away, like he's drawing people, you know? Kind of a bad example with the Corinthian because he's got everything that a modern woman likes, which is to say that he's very handsome, but also a monster. They like monster fuckers. They're incredibly common, more common than you think. Okay. I think against my thumb, I'm not going to draw the smile to be so fucking ghastly. For people who worry about being attractive to women, I can promise women do not care about your looks as much as you care about your looks. Look at all the dads you know from childhood. Are they chiseled giga-chads, or are they a collection of lanky dudes, chubsters, and all sorts? Just don't be a terrible person is way more important than having the correct chin ratio. Yeah, I think in general, that is, you know, it's always more important to be a good person. But I think also there's a, it's hard, confidence I think is just inherently attractive. I got diagnosed with ADHD in 2021, late 20s, though it was narcolepsy for a while. I relate to your video on it so much. Shed a few tears. Much love. I'm glad to hear that, that you related to it. I don't, it sounds like you struggled, obviously, with your ADHD and you thought it was narcolepsy, which I can kind of relate to because that polyphasic sleep. Okay, so he's going to have beautiful pearly whites. You can kind of see his gums on the sides there. He's kind of scary looking. I don't know if this is exactly right, but also just like a TikToker doing this bucket of mud challenge at a plus size women's clothing store is like, it would only be a dude that would do that. You know what I mean? Ah, fellow artist. Hello. I don't know why I read it like that. I think it's because, how do you do, fellow this, you know? Yeah, I mean, I try not to give myself the label artist. But that's probably me not embracing the spirit of vulnerability that this stream is intended for. I've been reminded to take my woman pills. Everybody take your woman pills if you haven't today. Wait, Mildred did pee-pee sleep? One of my friends did that before she realized she was trans. Sorry, I think I used the wrong term. Polyphasic sleep is when you do like the Benjamin Franklin style, you sleep several times throughout the night rather than one big sleep. What I meant to say is that people with ADHD often have a delayed circadian rhythm where they prefer to be awake at night rather than during the day. And that is why we tend to be very tired and have a difficult time with schedules, neurotypical schedules. I will say, though, that I have been very good about my sleep schedule lately. I have been up at 8 o'clock every day, going to bed midnight or 1. And it's been good, been helping me be productive. Okay, so look, it's kind of a tired stereotype, but I'm giving him a fucking man bun. And you can take it up with my manager. Actually, it's more of a top knot, I suppose. I just want this guy to like visually contrast Ollie, right? Like Ollie's got very floofy, unkept hair, and I think like stylish hair with very, very precise, and he's like super happy and and also there's a concept in comedy called high status, low status, where you have one character who always wins and one character who always loses, and you can look at basically like any comedy scenario or any comedy story, and like characters might switch who is which, but in any interaction between two characters, typically you will have one who's high status, one who's low status. Or at least it's a very popular dynamic. I don't know if I want to be Joseph Campbell about this, but It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is a great example because they will switch it up, like even mid episode they will change who is the high status person and who is the low status person. Kind of want it to be like dripping off the bucket already. Plus, if you draw him with a man bun, you can also later draw him with his hair down. I don't know if this will be a recurring character. Oh, no, 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 no. Family Guy Meg is nearly always low status. Yeah, exactly. Or like Jerry from Parks and Recreation, or Jerry from Rick and Morty, for that matter, or Rick and Morty themselves. Rick is always high status, Morty's always low status. Hold on here. Here's his. He's gonna have like a. I don't want him to be like ripped, but he should be like fit, you know? Just to, again, to like, this is such a different guy than Ollie. Seinfeld's a good example of characters switching the role a lot. Basically, like most good comedies. Will tend to switch it a lot. Gonna have his shirt kind of like, he's gonna be wearing like a tank top that is kind of, you know, showing off him a little bit. Just to, it's a good like visual shorthand for confidence. What challenge is he doing? It's the bucket of mud challenge, where you dump a bucket of mud on the floor. Give him a little butt chin too. Gotta have the butt chin. What does the Mud Bucket Challenge support? This guy's TikTok channel. This is a thing that, like, I don't know if, I mean, I can explain the joke here. I'm not going to explain it in the comic, but like, there's all these like viral trends that are just you going around annoying the shit out of a retail worker, you know? If I'm really feeling it when I color this, I'll probably have like the glow of the phone getting on this person, casting an eerie glow on this person's face, you know? I was thinking of the ice bucket challenge. I'll probably call it like mud dump challenge or something, just to not deliberately invoke that comparison, as though I'm saying that the ice bucket challenge is vacuous, which I do not believe it to be. And then we want Ollie in the background, kind of like, huh? What? And other such noises. Hold on. Draw this real light because it's got to be. Real light on detail, you know? Because this is the background, we're not trying to draw focus. His head is so big. I keep like defaulting to drawing people's heads much bigger than their bodies. Not bigger than their bodies, but bigger in proportion than how their bodies should be. Also, don't expect consistent proportions. That's not the spirit of this stream. I think we're going to have like a very simplified ollie, you know? Like, we won't... no. Come on. Like from far away. Because I think like the fewer lines you can use to convey, you know? Like this, and then like this. Again, this will all be cleaned up in the render. It's just... Everyone must be rushing to the bathrooms at lunchtime? What do you mean? Didn't realize you were an artist. This is cool. Yeah, so I draw all the this always surprises me. So like a lot of people say this, but I draw all the little cartoons at the end of the videos. I don't know if people just don't stick around to watch the end, or if people thought someone else was doing that. Almost forgot his dump truck. Gotta give the people what they want. Also, I remember some non-fungible little critters that we for sure were not allowed to save. Exactly. I mean, I can do nothing to stop you. But you're not allowed to save them onto your computer. And before anyone gets upset, no, I did not actually make NFTs. Damn, I like this. I like the way that he's looking, and it. Dang. I'm very happy with how this is turning out so far, I gotta say. You funged them? You son of a bitch! All of my apes stolen. I will say, I did make that as a joke, but in the back of my head I was like, maybe somebody will buy some of these, and I will make money off of this joke about what a scam it would be to do this. And I made $1,000. So don't let anyone tell you that you can't make a living in art. kind of move these down. Make them a bit smaller too. And you know what? That's very anime a little bit. I really appreciated your video and hard work. Even though I work hard, I have ADHD and people often call me lazy, which is the most painful word to me. It was a great vid. Thank you. I too have ADHD, and that was kind of the inspiration for making it, as you can probably tell. But yeah, people with ADHD are often called lazy. And we are not. I was in a bit of a crisis mode because I was struggling with some real burnout, and I had kind of prided myself on my output for so long that I'd been making videos so consistently, and then when I hit a wall where I felt like I couldn't do it anymore, I was freaking out and really questioning my self-worth. And so, as I do whenever I'm having some sort of mental health crisis, I said, why not monetize this? And now finally, the punchline layer. So first, actually, let's boop. I think so. There was talk earlier. Are we going to make him sad or angry? I think I'm gonna. We're settling for frustrated. This is going to be the where we land. Again, this is how I construct faces. Less content with better quality and better mental health is definitely preferred. Yeah, I mean, if the question is the content higher quality? Or does it just take longer to make? Remember egg eyes. I absolutely loved your newest video. Gave me a bit of hope again. Well, that's what I like to hear. Usually I just listen. To be fair, I did already know you were an artist, though. Very heartened by how many people are calling me an artist. We have really made an ollie that is, I will say, very easy to replicate. So I'm proud of that. happy with what I've done there. If you make art, you're an artist, right? I suppose. I'm just, I'm not happy with the eyes. I'm going to fix up the eyes. I always balk whenever my wife always refers to me as an artist in company. And I'll be like, oh, well, you know, no, not really. No. I think that's funnier. Kind of just like energetically angry. Just put artist in your username like me. There you go. Andrew Fartist. So you deliberately capitalized the A in artist to avoid people doing exactly what I just did. And I did it anyway. You can't stop me, Andrew. You can't stop me from making fun of your username, even though you're coming to watch my stream and support me. I still do that, and I've been doing freelance art for 4 years. Thought Slime, LOL. Yeah, that's it's the artist way, baby. It's ironic, right? Because if I could send my art back to like my you know, myself like 10 years ago and tell them someone else drew it, I'd be like, I'll never be that good. And now I'm looking at it going like, you know, I'll never be as good as someone else, as one of my friends or someone, you know. Like all I can see is what's wrong with it. Which is kind of like what drives people. It's a double-edged sword, right? Because that's kind of what drives you to get better. But it can be very depressing. Because you always kind of feel like you're doing a bad job. I'm trying to be a bit like loose with the sketch just to get a sense of like motion, because I tend to be very precise a lot of the times, and I kind of like to. I'm trying to like be a bit looser just so that you get a more of that like looseness in the drawing, but I don't know if it's working out for me. Just something I'm trying. You're always trying. You're always experimenting with stuff. Is the thing. I think there's going to be wider wiggle marks just to convey that he's working harder. I find the thing that helps me fight imposter syndrome is never applying myself. That's not what this stream is about. This stream is about learning to embrace being an imposter. If you're letting the feeling that you think you're not good enough hold you back, I got news for you. You're never gonna be good enough. So just start. Just go. You're never gonna feel like you should be going. Just go. And then along the way, somewhere, you're going to realize, oh shit, I'm good enough. You need to be bad at something to get good at something. So if you're bad at something, congratulations, you're putting in the work. If you only ever did things in life you were good at, you never would have learned to walk, you never would have learned to talk, you never would have learned anything you goddamn learned in your life. Start getting out there, be an imposter, suck at shit for a while. That is what we do here. I'm gonna have his outfit get like visibly disheveled here, like he's he's sweating. Originally, I thought it would be funnier if he was like kind of lower in the panel. Now I'm thinking kind of the opposite. To kind of convey the intensity, what if we kind of had him actually bigger, but like you know what I mean? Oftentimes we are critical of the most integral parts of ourselves because it feels like arrogance to like yourself. But those little joys are okay, and sometimes it takes reminding. There you go. This is exactly what we're here to do. Not only must you get out there and suck at stuff, you got to enjoy it. You don't enjoy it, you won't keep going. Sometimes it's not about getting better, too. Sometimes it's about just like making a thing because you enjoy it, and then just learning to just enjoy the process. If you can't think of a joke, just have him make the Jim face from The Office. Works every time, baby. I seldom struggle thinking of a joke, if I'm being honest with you. I'm very happy with what we've done here so far. Where are we at? We're almost at 5 o'clock. Holy shit. I think we'll try and ink at least some of the panels. I don't know if we'll get the full thing done today. That's okay. We can just get it done next week. I'm just taking a moment to admire it, Just drink in that dopamine. You know what I haven't done in a while? Saved. P1. Okay. Does the stream end at 5? Not a hard and fast ending, but I'm trying to have some kind of structure, I'm not gonna ink this panel first because this is not gonna be a lot of drawing, so it's a different headspace that I'll need to get into. But I'm going to ink this panel first, and also we're gonna do the backgrounds with a different style that I'll demonstrate later. But layer. New a vector layer, baby. Where's my vector layer? Vector layer. There we go, baby. You're blue now. Dabba dee dabba die. Dabba dee dabba dee dabba dee dabba die. The last panel needs like dramatic lighting from the bottom to give it a tall kind of look. Yeah. That's something we'll work out later, I think. But yeah, absolutely. There should be kind of like a I don't know how to explain it, like Argento style. He's kind of losing his mind. Okay. So the plan for the first few pages is going to be, sorry, I'm in the wrong tool. Actually, I want this a bit lighter just so that I can make out my brush strokes. It's going to be like a series of days of just following Ollie in his boring life, as he gets gradually more frustrated. And then there's going to be an interruption, which will serve as the call to adventure, as they say. Nope. And then there's the ticking clock of the so many days until the brand explosion. That's not going to be in the first issue. The first issue is going to take place over a week. And then the second issue, we're going to get to that. That's going to be a whole other thing. I want to convey that these are bags under his eyes, not that he's old. So I'm just trying to... These are some sick, smooth lines, my friend. They look fantastic. Oh, thank you so much. It's vector layers, baby. Gives you the illusion of line confidence. Sometimes art is about learning to pretend like you learning to pretend like you learn to do something properly, without ever actually learning to do it properly. He's so sad. Yeah. At the beginning of the story, he's quite sad. And he will remain sad for a while. Retail sad boy? Exactly. Oh, shit. Sorry. The undo button on my tablet is right next to the power button, so occasionally I turn off my tablet as I'm working. Quite annoying. There we go. What tablet do I have? It's the Huon Pro 12. Huon Canvas 12 or something like that. It's 12 inches, essentially. It's a good semi-professional tablet. I don't know if I'd recommend it for like someone who works in the industry, but then again, I don't know enough about nothing to know whether or not it's good enough for that. Like, I'm sure someone who worked in the industry could make it work, but it's just, you would probably want like a Wacom or something like that, like an industry standard, if you were a bit more discerning about these things. But it's more than good enough for my purposes. Like, I've never used it and felt like oh, I wish I could do something that it couldn't do, you know? Canvas 16. Canvas, that's the one I have. Sorry, I don't know why I said Pro. Canvas 12 is the one I got. As someone with no knowledge of arts, I think this looks pretty all right. I mean, that's, you know, most of the people who will be reading it, I would assume. And I don't think you need to know about art to know whether or not you like what you're looking at, to be honest. Like, you don't need to be a visual artist to know whether or not... You can tell whether or not something looks good. To you, anyway. Gotta say, doing this in front of people, one thing that I'm enjoying about it is that it really does make you pay a bit more attention to what you're doing and to be a bit more conscious in a way that I did not expect. Huon is a great brand, even for pros, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's very inexpensive, which is why I got the one that I did. Like, when you draw by yourself, it's easy to kind of, at some point, go, fuck this, actually, and just stop if you get frustrated. You can't really do that if you're in front of other people. You kind of have to stick with it and get through it, which I like a lot. It's making drawing a lot of fun. I will say I'm really enjoying this. Got all the lines cut out and the pieces cut out. Time to see if it fits together. Were you the person that was doing the Orville doll clothes? I'm really bad with names. I apologize if you were or were not. Regardless of what's going on with you, I apologize. God, the vector layers, they just let you fake line confidence so well. It's neat how morphic the intersection between skill and expression is in art. Different folks use the same mediums but choose to express meanings and display skill in different ways. Yeah, right? I also think that. That is a profound observation. Was what my joke was meant to convey just now, in case it wasn't clear. All right, let's get some straight dang lines. Too thin. Let's get some lines with some meat on their bones. There we go. There we go. Now here's a question. Are those... Yes, they're included on that layer. Excellent. In Photoshop, sometimes like stuff like that goes on a different layer. I do think I've made the broom, or the mop rather, too wide. So I'm just gonna... little bit of foreshortening there. Foreshortening is it's when you want to convey that something is coming towards the viewer. You make it thinner at the top and thicker at the bottom, or towards wherever the viewer is meant to be, whatever's closer. You get it. Oh, nope, nope. Wrong tool, baby. Still the wrong tool, baby. There we go. Now, one small issue, we have moved where the... Also, this collar's not right. I got to fix this collar. I moved past it earlier, and I was like, that's not right. You're going to have to go fix it. Now is the time. What the hell is going on here? Why did I... That line makes no sense. Alright, see, I'm noticing a problem. So, we haven't flipped the canvas yet. Dare I? This is a problem. When you flip the canvas and it still looks great? Oh, thank you. Never looks quite as good when you flip the canvas. Which is why you should do it often. We probably should have been doing it in our sketches too. The broom is probably ahead of the classes, so I should. What's he holding on to? It's a mop. It should probably have, like, you know how mops have that thing where you can like hang them? That kind of sells that a little bit, I think. And there'll be like sound effects probably, like squish, squish, squish. You know what I mean? Something wrong with the hair. I can't quite put my finger on. Don't know if I like... Better. And we'll say the ears, I need to touch up a little bit here because I think this would be more like, oop. Get rid of these tangents. The mop head is secretly a wet puppet. Aren't they all, baby? Ah, see, there's a problem. This body should be ahead of this arm. Let's just get that chub going. There you go. No, 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 no. Don't erase all my lines. Clip Studio Paint. I know you'd like to. You'd love that, wouldn't you? You'd have to draw more. That's how they get you. The hair is kind of Ed, and Eddie or Dexter's Lab style. I dig them. Inward loops. Yeah, I like that too. It's very much. I love Gendy Tartakovsky. He's very much an inspiration of mine. So like, yeah, that's about right, I think. Let me just fix that up. There's some areas where I'm not happy with the line work, but you know, perfect is the enemy of the good. Like a thing on the polo shirt there. I watched Hellraiser for the first time the other day, and holy shit, wet puppets. Some wet ones in that one, baby. All right, I think we're good on this panel. Which Muppet should be the designated wet one? I mean, Kermit's an amphibian, so he'd probably enjoy it. But I feel like that motherfucker gets enough attention as it is. You know what I mean? Not new raster layer, new vector layer. Come on. Raster layer? Who needs them? Also, I can't wait to find out how the fill tool works with these panels. Hopefully it works the way I want it to. Otherwise, I'm going to have problems. Not really, because we'll just draw the outlines. You know, we'll be fine. Doesn't have a round nose. He has a square. He has a. Doesn't have a sharp nose. Rather, he has a little. He. There we go. Beaker could be like a wet worm. Beaker could be like a wet worm. You're not wrong when you say that. But I think sometimes your scientists are too concerned with whether or not they could, and they don't stop to ask themselves whether they should. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, I'm liking that. I'm having a good art day. I mean, traditionally, would not a beaker be full of liquid? I love the style of the ears. They're so cute. Thank you. I ripped them off from Jacob Drawfee. I love the way he shorthands ears. It just conveys everything so perfectly. I love it. Just thinking. Just thinking. Sometimes you need to take a step back and visualize shit. Stop this. None of this is right. I think we're getting somewhere. Muppets with teeth would be worth the price of admission alone. Some Muppets have teeth. Dr. Teeth being a good example. Hey, calm down. Calm down with the thick lines, baby. Thank you. Just imagine watching a slimy Kermit the Frog puppet open its mouth full of realistic human teeth to issue forth a guffaw both unsettling and full-bodied. Bonk, go to horny jail. Ah, I turned off my tablet again. One second, I am going to use the washroom. I'll leave the page up just so that we have something visual. Oh, hold on. We got a big super chat I want to address. Just wanted to say that your videos, since you decided to drop the one a week schedule and go longer form, have been some of my favorites. Absolutely worth the wait. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it is a format that I am still working through and trying to figure out how I'm going to make it a bit more consistent so that people don't have to wait so incredibly long. But I am trying to produce to a better quality to make up the difference. But yeah, thank you so much. That's very generous of you, Stephen Smith. I will be right back. Chaboy's back. This is a lovely, relaxing stream. Oh, thank you. I was going for a more high-octane thrill ride, but I'll settle for a relaxing stream. Just make sure that Dumper, his legs are not long enough, huh? Just now realizing this. I mean, it's a cartoon. I can make his legs whatever length I want, but I do feel like that's a bit much. It makes him look like a Weeble Wobble. They don't need to be much longer, though, and I can just make everything else longer to compensate, or rather the shopping cart. So looking at you draw, for some reason I had a flashback to me as a kid watching What a Cartoon on mid-90s Cartoon Network. Probably because you mentioned Gendy. Big Gendy head over here. Detroit become thicker. Yeah. One of the biggest drawbacks to vector layers, and it's not so much their fault as it is my fault, but you have to remember to go back and, like, everywhere that you crossed over a line intending to go back and change it, you have to remember to go and actually do that. I can't stick around, but I wanted to say I appreciate your videos and perspectives, and thank you for introducing me to more leftist thinking and content, and for being so entertaining. That's a very nice message. Thank you, Nick Jace. Thank you very much. That feels very good to hear, I will say, about what you said, etc. Everybody's so nice all the time. How do you fucking stand it? Don't you ever want to go ape? That's a reference to the classic Daisy staring with intent image. You know the one. I'm making garlic salsa to share with my D&D group tonight. That sounds real good. Garlic salsa. I don't know if I've ever had garlic salsa. I make a top layer for notes and use 100% magenta to highlight things I need to remember on that layer. Yeah, but like, I don't think that would work for the problem I'm discussing, because it's like it's every single thing you draw. So unless you're going to like go and highlight literally everything, you know, like every line is going to crisscross until you remember to like get rid of the intersections. See, like that one right there, like these. You know what I'm saying? Kind of want to. No, he's not that thick. And about here. So. Romanian cuisine uses a lot of garlic for everything. I mean, not Romanian food specifically. We just add garlic to everything. Yeah, that's a lot of places love that garlic. I love garlic as well. I'm not a Dracula, if that's what you're implying. Foot should be longer to match his other foot. That'll do. I can tell this is wrong. I can't yet tell why. This should probably... Gotta have those stupid fucking creases. in a corporate uniform, you gotta have the dumb creases in the pants. Just make them impossible to iron. I'm not a Dracula. Thought supposedly not a Dracula Slimington. That's Count thought supposedly not a Dracula Slimington to you. I can't forget that this is bulging out a little. Ah, cool. Sporn bot. Spam porn. Sporn. Welcome. Get out of here. You're definitely not the best adult dating website. That's farmersonly.com. If you're a farmer. Otherwise, it would probably be something else. He tucks? Oh, when you work a place like this, you are made to tuck. Let me tell you. And folks, I'm not talking about tucking your wiener to hide your wiener. Though they probably advise that as well. Yeah, this isn't right. Let's get this. It should be a little higher, I think. They gave you pants? Sometimes you get pants. Sometimes you get free pants. Sometimes they give you a dress code that includes a certain style of pants, and they all have to have that dumb crease. I need to buy my own goddamn jeans. All right. I guess that's a pretty easy vulnerable victory right there, to be honest, to buy your own jeans. But I believe in you. I believe you can do it. Why am I just not just doing a polyline? Boop. No, it got to be thicker. Thicker, baby. Okay. 6. It's no longer big enough. Mm. Mm. All right, I know I can fix this right away. No, that's the wrong tool. Thank you. There we go. That's more like it. But this goes boop. I say we increase that bulge. I don't think this character is meant to be a sex object. I think he is meant to be somewhat piteous. You are free to desire him sexually. I have no control over that. I don't think that is the intent. Certainly, the characters within the story will not find him sexually desirable, at the very least. Plus, sub jumps make you tuck. Yeah. You sometimes gotta tuck. I always got in trouble for it because I would tuck as I was told because I'm good and I follow the rules. And I am conflating those things. That is my belief. That it's always good to follow rules set by any authority figure. But then it would just come untucked because my body is shaped in such a way that pants fall down, shirts come untucked, nothing behaves on my body. Gives Ollie a dumpy, doesn't follow through to the rest. I don't think it's very in character for Ollie to have a big dick, in my opinion. You're welcome to disagree, but as the character's creator, canonically, I do not feel you would have an epic hog. And if that makes you not want to read the comic, I understand. Maybe you are the type of person who can't relate to a guy without an epic hog. You think my hog is epic, or if you don't have a hog, you think if I were to have one, it would certainly be epic. That's the energy I bring to everything. That's fine. That's you, you know, but it's not him. Why don't you leave this up to interpretation? How am I not? You can't. Do you see hog shown? Is this Photoshop or Clip Studio Paint? It is Clip Studio Paint, baby. Am I saying small dicks are not epic? I'm saying that Ollie's dick is both small and not epic. Obviously, any dick can be epic. It's way too big a wheel. Not a monster truck. Welcome to I Draw a Circle. In this episode, I attempt over and over to draw some wheels. You know, it just occurs to me, I can just cheat. Oop. Gotta have wheel wells, so you can just cheat. You don't have to draw a good circle. That's still too big, though, actually. Is there a Twitch chat? There's all kinds of chats, baby. Yeah. I gotta stop saying baby. I'm so addicted to saying the word baby after every sentence. Yes, there is a Twitch chat. These streams are also done on Twitch, twitch.tv/thoughtsime. If you were so inclined. Looks like a giant eyeball. I think someone's got eyeballs on the brain. Been there, you know? You just wake up in the middle of the night thinking about eyeballs, hearing someone whispering eyeballs to you. Happens to the best of us. Bay leaves. There you go. It's kind of like that, more so. Let's actually use a straight line. We're all adults here. Modest buns, too. The man is cursed. Yeah, I think he's fairly dumptuous. Should I, chat, do you think I should make him more dumptuous? Don't just answer hornily. Horny answers will be disregarded. I can always tell. Oh, he's in the virgin pose? He kind of is, yeah. Who's my favorite horror reviewer? I would assume Dead Meat James. He's your favorite horror reviewer? Maybe Freddy in Space? Thank you for the gift sub, Bobby Duke. The Bobby. You're right. There's no harm in just seeing, just seeing how making him more dumptuous feels. I mean, there could be significant harm in it, but it might be worth it. I don't think that's right. I think the type of dump he's got, it should hang low. You know what I mean? That's a bit too low, perhaps. Now that I'm looking at it. Maybe if we just had it taper a bit there. Looks like he's wearing a diaper. I like the original dump better. I'm inclined to agree. It's a very Hank Hill orthotic pick. It's been a while since I've seen that episode. Did that like make women horny? Was it like when they saw him with the big ass, were they like, oh fuck yeah, can't wait to fuck Hank Hill and his huge ass, his huge normal ass, they would say. The implication being that the only thing holding back most women from wanting to fuck Hank Hill right now is his inadequate dumpus. He needed a fake fanny orthotic. No, I remember. I know. And he went in a lawnmower competition, and then one of the butt cheeks popped. But I think it was Bill who also had one, but was hiding it out of shame. Like in the last minute, tossed him a replacement so that he could win the competition. He also has a narrow urethra. I'm very familiar with Hank Hill's medical life. Thank you. No, as one of his fake fanny support group buds? Ah, okay. Which, like, watching that episode as a kid, it was a lot funnier, the idea of, like, a butt implant. But, like, sometimes you sit on stuff and it's like, yeah, I wouldn't mind a bit more butt for sitting down right now, you know? You young people, or big-butted people, even, of any age, probably don't recognize this yet, but sometimes you sit on stuff and it's like, it's not right. You know? Wouldn't mind a little more cushion for the pushin', as they say. I'm not like super thrilled with this shopping cart, but I think it's the type of thing where I need to like step away from it and come back to it. So I'm going to move on for now. The background we're going to do differently than the rest of the drawing, so on its own separate layer with a different kind of style. So the way that I want to do the backgrounds is like very geometric and without outlines, and kind of like desaturated compared to the foreground, so that the foreground pops a little. You could just get an actual cushion though. You just don't get it. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Powerpuff Girls background? Yeah, very much. Like, really, all of my Gendy influences are coming out, huh? The carts just need to have the front wheels jutting forward with the bottom area, you know? Yeah, I'll figure it out later. I'll come back to it. I'm not gonna let it frustrate me right now, you know? Sometimes you just need to step away from something and then come back to it. Sitting on a penny board makes me wish I had some cushion. Why are you sitting on a penny board? You're supposed to stand on those bad boys. Trust me on this one. I do it every day. Sometimes I will sit on it though if I'm like, if I take my board out to the park and I'm sitting with people, and then it's just better than sitting on the grass. The mud dump guy really looks like the ventriloquist doll from Goosebumps. Kinda. Showing what I think of these lousy influencers. Kind of a job is that? This isn't right. It should be like more of... There you go. There you go, buddy. That or Sokka? A little bit. No? There you go. There you go. Gendy's a good director, but his strengths are in action, comedy, and not much else. Spoken like somebody who's never watched Samurai Jack. It's had some good-ass storytelling in it. I mean, it obviously had good action and comedy as well, but there were dramatic stories in that show. Moments of profound sadness. Talking about Lulu Sweet Thing. Those who know, know. facial tattoo, like a teardrop or something. I don't view this as this kind of character. He's more of like a oh so perfect type of guy than a scary guy, you know? A Paul bro? More like that, yeah. That fourth panel frustration face is perfect. Yeah, I'm very proud of that. This is a hanky in the front pocket kind of guy. This is a guy who wears like shiny shirts uh, and has a pocket square. Lives for New Year's Eve. Hair slicked back. Sloppy steaks at Trifoni's. Get out of here, porn bot. Real piece of shit, you know? I'm going to cartoonify this top knot a little bit. Hold on. Beep, beep. Like that. I want to get the sketch a little lighter just so I can see what I'm doing. Is that like a milk steak? No, it's really good. You take a steak and you dump a bucket of water on it. Most restaurants won't let you do it, but they can't stop you from ordering a steak and a glass of water. WTF? It's a reference to I Think You Should Leave. This guy shows up at a party, and whenever he tries to hold this baby that the host of the party just had, the baby cries. And he's like, yeah, it's probably because I used to be a real piece of shit. And then turns out that in this man's idea, in this man's mind, being a piece of shit is this incredibly specific thing where you have all these incredibly specific activities, one of which is eating sloppy steaks at Trifoni's. I'm scared of this drawing's face. Well, this is what it's like when you work retail. It's hard out there. If you have not watched I Think You Should Leave, you fucked up. That was a real good show. Good news, you can still watch it. Those of you that do not watch it are sometimes going to have a lot of problems understanding the things I say on this stream, on this channel in general. I mean, I fucked up on so many things in my life. I feel like that's not in the top 10. Did you used to be a real piece of shit? Slick back hair, live for New Year's Eve? Gonna make it like absurdly low cut, I think. You know? Why not? Not that kind of fucked up? Oh, you think this is slicked back? This is pushed back. I like the phrase live for New Year's Eve. I'm telling you, watch this show. Change your life. And now, everyone's favorite part of the inking process is figuring out which of these lines did I think of as the good one. Will the influencer have pecs? Yeah, I think so. I think he will indeed. Have to have them, you know? I think maybe the thumb is Yeah. Nope, wrong layer. Now we're getting somewhere. Do we want to be there, though, is the question. Maybe more low scoop. See, I figured this is pretty low. But maybe let's really oversell it. That might be a bit too much. Now it looks like he's wearing overalls a little bit. Should probably be like a V-neck. Honda hanging, not squared. I don't know what Honda hanging is. But like his collarbone would be about here. So I think he's wearing a banana hammock. You can think whatever you want. We never see his legs, so he could be wearing anything down there. And if it makes you happy to think that, that's fine by me. Yoked? I don't know. I think of him as having like a swimmer's body type of deal. Like not jacked, but like he is kind of what Ollie would envy, you know? And it just comes easily to him. Just to add insult to injury, you know? It's like this guy that is kind of everything he wants to be. Yeah, I don't like that. And if that's the direction we're going, then that should be a bit more rounded. I bet he has a tribal ankle tattoo. He would have like a tattoo that's like the The Chinese character for Success or something like that. Whoa, you're telling me this is the best adult dating website? Holy smokes. And our little, let's not forget our little shorthand Ollie. Chinese character from Mudman. Maybe if this comic goes long enough, he will return with mud powers. I did the mud dump challenge too many times. I became one with the mud. If there is something I like, it's dating adults. Adults are the only people you should be dating. Unless you are a child, in which case, probably don't date anybody. Would be my advice. Ever. Go full vol cell to comply with my Maoist principles. Again, I feel like I've made the legs too short, but I think it kind of works in this case. We've gotten so much more work on this done than I thought we would today, given like how little we got done yesterday. That's always how it goes, though. Did I draw cuffs on the pant leg in the other panel? No, I did not. No cuffs for you, pal. You haven't earned them. You haven't earned them by having them in another panel. There we go. All right. Let's just because I didn't like the tangent there. Someone said he was crunchy before, and now I'm laughing at that stuck in a cake. What? Imagine Ollie sitting on a cake. We don't talk like that around here. I like that a lot. I like what that's given us. Like a true bisexual, my jeans are always cuffed. My wife made me stop rolling up my jeans. She was just like, "You have to buy jeans that fit you," and I'm very upset about it. It's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Howdy, mildew. Howdy, that dude, Platina. I think that's kind of difficult to do as a short guy without getting things tailored. Exactly. Although I will point out that I'm 5'10", which is the exact average height, not short. I'm not short, I'm small. Small bean. Short slam, banned. Immediate ban. All right, I think we got one more panel. We might as well ink the last panel of, we come this far. And then next week we can color and do the backgrounds. Average height is 6'10" nowadays. Dang it! I'm 5'7", that short. It depends on where you live and how you present. Because 5'7", pretty tall for a woman. You know? It's all, you gotta put it all in perspective. If you don't put it in perspective, I'm gonna be pissed off. Four panels, I dare you, there's the thing at the top. Yeah, but in that person's defense, I haven't really started working on that as much yet. Okay, this time, let's start with the mop. So we know kind of where that's going to be. You had a dream last night that I rented this house and it had a bunch of magic audio cassette tapes in it. And like half of them were soundtracks to obscure horror movies that may or may not have been actual horror movies. Might have been just shit I imagined in the dream. Very strange. It was like the whole house was an escape room. But like with ghosts. Weird little dream. I don't know what brought that up. Did they make the house spooky? I mean, it was pretty spooky to begin with. I wouldn't go so far as to say that it was altogether ooky. It's pretty spooky, though. Asparagus soup is good. Yo, I've never had that. That does sound good. Do like a good asparagus. Was it kooky? Oh, kooky as hell. Yeah, for sure. For sure, for sure, for sure. Remember how I talked about in the last stream how I don't think I'm a particularly technically skilled artist, but I'm very good at doing expressions? This is what I'm talking about. I think the expression here really sells how the character is feeling. Oh, hey, we got more Spambot. Hey, Spambot, welcome back. Welcome to the weekends. How many times do you need to ban that bot? Probably, if I were to guess, infinite times until YouTube fixes its fucking platform. You guys ever had oxtail soup? I haven't. I banned the wrong person? Did I? Sure did. My bad, Mr. Hideous. Unhide user. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I see Mr. Hideous is now posting again. all is right with the world. Kangaroo is good. I've never had kangaroo, and as a humble vegan, I've never shall. What pairs well with kangaroo? I've never had. If cartoons are anything to go by, a smaller kangaroo. Kangaroo seems taboo like horse. But like horse is taboo because people have a partnership with horses, you know? We don't like to eat animals that we feel do us a lot of solids. Whereas if you like a kangaroo who's never done jack shit for anybody. So fuck them, you know? See, I can feel myself kind of making the face that I'm drawing. I don't know if you can see that. Gotta stop nudging the microphone with my earphones. That's no good, as Sonic the Hedgehog would say. Aside from dogs and donkeys, I dislike all animals. I just want them hurt. I don't want them hurt, just not near me. Okay, that's significantly less disturbing than what I originally wrote. No, 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 no. This is a hard angle to to get this for, so I'm just gonna tilt her a little. There we go. I feed the kangaroos where my horse lives. That feels like an activation phrase. Someone out there is about to go assassinate Shinzo Abe. World got Dutch angled. Yeah, I get a tilty thing on my tablet that I seldom use because it can get disorienting, but I needed it for that particular angle. They're rethinking giving Shinzo Abe a funeral due to his ties with the Moonies. Is that like out of like a state funeral, you mean, or like do Moonies just not have funerals? 'Cause he wasn't a Moonie, surely. Imagine if it came out that the former Prime Minister of Japan the whole time was himself a Moonie. That'd be amazing. I mean, it'd be terrible, but, you know. Everything's terrible in the news. It would just be terrible in a funnier way than is typical. You're talented. I wish I could draw like that. Talent's got nothing to do with it. It's all, you should have seen my drawings, but years ago. But thank you. I will attempt to receive this compliment rather than deflect it, in the spirit of vulnerability that this stream is meant to celebrate. I was way too interested in the whack homemade firearms Shinzo's assassin made than I should have been. What do you, if by whack you mean like the sickest thing ever? You and I have very different definitions of whack. You see the 9-barrel thing he made, Mildo? Yeah. It's like something crafted in Fallout. It's hilarious. Wish I hadn't erased that line by accident. Awesome work, Adam. I'm proud of you for being brave. Let's see what this is. Am I gonna have to give out a flawless victory? It's Scrump. Thanks, Simon. I recommend everyone to check out Chinese Cooking Demystified and go from there. I felt brave today, so I'm inventing a soup. Well then, I think we can all agree that that's one of your classic.
Flawless victory.
We're still kind of tilted. You know what? We haven't saved in a while. There we go. Hold on. I've got this all fucked up. Actually, like right here. Yeah, I got a bit too much chub happening there. You chub, you ain't that chub, you know? I don't know if I want to do an outline for the pit stain. I think that's something we can do in the coloring. Is there a way to reset the tilt to normal? I find myself goofing up and having to save, close Photoshop and then reopen. Wish there was a reset button. Probably. Yeah, there is. Let's just test that real quick. See if that changes the routes. What did I just reset display? Yeah. You can just do it that way. Okay, I can't see what I'm doing here. I gotta get rid of some of these sketch layers. I don't like these lines. I want to fix them. And let's actually get a quick... No, I still like it flipped, so it's good. That means it's good. Oh, I'm drawing white lines. Dang it. That might be a problem later. Let me just... Okay, they're gone. Yeah. Black, please. There we go. What tablet do you have again? Huon Canvas Pro 12. I think I'm adding the word Pro. I don't know if the word Pro is in there. But doesn't it make me sound like a professional? I want to watch Wishmaster real bad. Why don't you wish to watch Wishmaster? Ollie looks so cute in this panel. In this panel? He's so angry in this panel. This is his least cute appearance, in my opinion. I wish I could draw. As you wish, fulfill the prophecy. Anyone can draw. Anyone on Earth can draw. Can you draw right now as skillfully as you might like to? No. If you'd like to, you just start doing it. Suck at it for a while until you get better. Same way as anything else, baby. Baby. Believe. Alright. Now I do want to know, I am curious if I... New roster layer. It is... Yeah, it is underneath that. Just want to know if this is going to play nice with that fill tool of mine. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that it works like that. I think I'm going to give him a bit of an eye twitch, you know, to like sell how angry he is. I gotta stop using the word sell. Bit much. The only thing that makes you unable to draw is saying you can't draw. I don't know, I say it all the fucking time. To be honest. Looked better before. Yeah. I think probably one thing I would like to do, and this might be overkill, is like on each of these, first of all, let's go through and rename these layers. Otherwise, we're going to get fucking lost in the sauce. Like you wouldn't believe. Okay. Frame A1. Oh, well, frame A1 doesn't have any, isn't done yet. So that's... I drew him grinding his teeth a little. Now there's an idea. Maybe do like a Ninja Turtle grimace. You know the ones. B1 lines. Trust me, this is the type of thing that you don't think is important until you need it. B2 lines. Because you will go looking for it later. C1 lines. Hey, Spambot. Welcome back, Spambot. Where was I? C2 lines. Lines. If you don't have your layers named, you will go looking for them later, and you'll spend a lot of time trying to look through, trying to figure out how do I get on the right layer. Trust me, it is a problem that will come up. So like if we like that. Yeah, that's good. Does mean I'll have to change up these. Been showing off my doodle at the end of your last video, and all my buddies say it's awesome and mega cute. Plus, I found out some of my real life friends were already fans of yours, so double win. Oh my God, TerraFixit. That is, without a doubt, a
Flawless victory.
You've nailed it. That is, I double appreciate that you are showing people in your real life your skills, not hiding your light inside a bushel. You are showing everybody. You are getting that good feedback. You are learning that you don't want to listen to that voice in your head that says you can't show people your shit. Just show them. Just show them. They're going to like it. It's fine. Hell yeah. Excellent work. Anyway, I think I started saying this sentence earlier and then forgot. I might want to come back and like try and thicken up some of these lines. I know I could do it by just going into the actual vector business, but I think that would be a pain in the patoot. Let me just see. Redraw vector line width. Huh? Is this how it works? How does this work? Adjust line width. So if I were to go this, yeah, how do I? Whoa, oh, don't give me this power. Oh, don't give me this power, Clip Studio Paint. And it does like the oh. All right, goodbye. I'm spending the rest of my life doing this. Is it cheating though? Is it cheating? I don't care. Art is cheating. Art is always cheating. I have learned new actual goddamn skills in this stream. This is a good ass start, I feel. Looks so satisfying. It feels so satisfying, let me tell you. I feel like should this, and let's just see how it feels to do it. Give him one you know. Kind of like it. I like the idea, not so much the execution. Also, it's brown for some reason. Let's turn stabilization off for a second, just so we can do this quickly. Now we're getting somewhere. And you know what? Let's take advantage of the fact that we got these panel borders. We can just go off the sides. I I do like ultimately. Hmm. Nothing in digital art is cheating short of tracing. All of this is traced, though, from my brain. When you think about it, having an imagination is cheating in art. If you think about it, don't be a Greg Land. Welcome to Greg Land. Greg Land is what's funny about Greg Land is that he so often traces and his artwork still looks like absolute dog shit. Perhaps because he traces so much, actually. It just gets this weird stiff look and like none of the characters are conveying what they should be conveying because it's all from pornography. Greg Land, if you don't know, is a comic book artist famous for tracing. He did a lot of stuff in the 90s, not in the 90s, in the early 2000s. He was inexplicably popular. And his art is uniformly terrible. And he still gets work with Marvel? Of course he does. What does Marvel give a shit? He makes the money. This is a solid ass start, I think. I'm very proud of how much we've gotten done. I would like to fix this. Sometimes you draw stuff and then you forget why you put the lines the way that you did and it ends up looking confused. That's better. What's the software being used right now? Clip Studio Paint. We got, I'll probably end around 7, so we got 20 minutes. Let's take a crack at this business, at the top panel. So, layer, new roster layer. Let's bring it below here. We'll make this one blue. Dabba-dee-dabba-die. We'll kind of fill this out. Can't answer the phone right now. I'm streaming. have a dark purple for the night sky. We're going to refer only to editing layer on this. Okay. Now, I'm going to want like a beige-ish color, I think, for the building. Rectangle shape, like that. And this is how we, so there's going to be a lot of this. No. I trailed off in my last message, but you can get better at writing without school. If this year has taught me anything, it's to continue pursuing your goals after failing the first time. Absolutely. And that's very much in the spirit of this dang stream. Yeah, you can get better at anything without school. Which is not to say never go to school, but like understand that you've always got options. Not everyone can afford to go to school. You've probably mentioned this before, but do you still live in Canada or are you in the US now? I still live in Canada, in Ontario, where the sea lions kiss, or so the story goes. View. We're going to want a grid, baby. Hey. Hey, grid. I asked for a grid. Hey, Spambot, long time no see. And by long time, I mean like 5 minutes. Now you're looking at this going like, what the hell are these windows? What are you doing, Mildo? It's so simple. Even a child can understand. Behold. Behold how simple it is to convey a window. Turn the stabilization back on that I turned off to make that scribble. Turn the brush size up. Oop. Hold on. And turn the brush size down to a normal brush size. Oop. That's how you convey a window. That's all you got to do. Easiest cheat in the world. Now, let's work out this text situation. That's not going to be the font. Much better. Usually when I watch someone draw, it's on Drawfee. Same. And how do we do this in Clip Studio? I'm used to Hell yeah, I'd shop at Queen XL. Well, wait until you read the story before you make that decision. Gonna have to be a bright red. Hold on 1 second, I must pee. And I'm back. All right. I think with this text, what are my text options? You don't got the same options as Photoshop, I've observed. Ah, here we go. Character spacing. Let's get them closer together. This is the Quartering Bizarro Universe Thoughts Time. I like to think so. Now let's go ahead and rasterize this so that we can ruin it. Move you up here. We're going to want to apply to connected pixels only off. Going to want to have a outline around that boy. Outline selection, draw outside, line width. Let's try 2 for now. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Mildred does not piss in their basement like Jeremy Quartering. I literally just pissed in my basement. My basement has a bathroom in it, but still. Can I skew it with just your classic Control T? No, I cannot. Cancel. Edit. Transform. Skew. I want to get this from my skewed perspective. No, this is too much. Thinking. But also stinking. If we give this a classic, so if we selected this, like here, I want like a brownish. No. Hey. And then we're going to go from here to here. And we're going to go boop. Oop. We're going to go oop. Just finished my video about work. Fine as always. Thank you. Fire as always. That's a different phrase. There should be a little actually like this. Boop. And then actually and then we'll fill it with lighter color. This is going to be like an open sign. This is just like how I like to do background elements. It's just this kind of lineless style. Need a boring font for this, so we'll go with Roboto, the official Google font. Yeah, we're getting somewhere. I think that'll do for today. So we'll save, and we'll come back to this next week. I'm very happy with the progress I've made so far. This is a fucking comic already. It's going to get even better the longer we work on it. I hope you enjoyed. I certainly did. Let's see who's online to even raid. Who could I even raid is the question. Don't make noise. I didn't say that was okay. I will send you to Sabrina. I can do this. I'll try a barrel roll. That's a good trick. No. Raid. Hope you enjoyed. This has been, once again, very positive, very fun, very, very good for me. Hopefully for you as well. I'll see you next week and for more celebrations of vulnerability. Get your victories ready next week. Be ready to present them and be congratulated. And then all will be well. Be at peace.